Hello, Professor Curry. This is Oscar Grados. Thank you for spending the next few minutes with me. For the next 5 to 8 minutes, I will walk through my prototype for the final project, and I promise it will go fast. The concept I chose was to make a scary VR game using a VR headset and controllers, and incorporate sensory and perceptual elements. You might be wondering, did I do that efficiently or not? So we will find out, starting with the brainstorming. So the challenge was to come up with an experience that had at least four types of sensory information. For instance, sight, sound, touch, and smell. If there's anything I learned, is that you can create an immersive experience with an XR device, but one can also create design that is inclusive, as I learned. So I start sketching away, pencil and paper, just quick ideas to get them out there. I try to sketch with a purpose in mind, always, and at the same time, I try adding purpose to those sketches. Um, the information that is being brought into from the sketches to the wireframes, excuse me, to the wireframes gets refined, and I fine tuned most of the sketches. I have a couple of them right here. So I do that so that one can easily decide what changes are necessary so that ultimately the challenge is met. And so these sketches were very helpful. In total, I came up with seven screens. I came up with 7 screens. Let's see. So in total, I came up with 7 screens, and I did a sequence of 7 copies of another screen. So total about 14 to be precisely. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So I will explain what the game is so that we have a surface for this presentation. So the game is called Escape the Compound, and pretty much the goal is to escape safely while navigating this scary compound and figure out a way out. The game itself is not complete, unfortunately, as my ongoing struggles of careless working hours continues to affect the project. So let me zoom in on my prototype so we can get a closer look. I will go ahead and turn off some of these. Let me go ahead and turn off the grids. So I have turned off grids so we can get a better look at the wireframes. Sorry, prototype. Um, so the game itself is not complete, but with that being said, when it comes to sensory elements, they were in fact put together during the brainstorm phase. So I was intrigued to use smell as the thing that would make this more unique and elevate the experience. This is the concept of smell-o-vision, which is one of the articles that was last linked during the last few weeks for this course. So this feature would be incorporated into the XR headset, and the user would be able to smell the scent, which would enhance the overall experience, and would also depend on whatever environment the player is currently in. If the player was in a locker room or a bathroom, the device would trigger a smell that would normally be in those places, and it doesn't have to be uh, specifically, with every environment, depending on which environment the player is in. Of course, they can personalize their the game could have an option for personalized characters, and so then they have the opportunity to set those settings, and that would include the smell feature as well. The user also sees things. They not only see what's in front of them when they're navigating the compound. They also visualize. This is not like a dream or an illusion type of experience anymore. This is a real experience where they're navigating a scary place, and there are people trying to take them down like everyone else. So I'm aware the game needs a little bit more work. Of course, I think that the concept the concept is there. Um, the eye tracking ability is amazing to see in these devices. I was able to get a vision of that using plugins, and you can see from the user's perspective the game while wearing the VR headset. In the context of this particular project, I included a presentation of the game posted as analogous to what is typically found in Netflix. So immediately following the selection of the game, which is this one right here, you will be able to begin navigating the various screens, including settings, start, quit, and of course, inventory. So I'm going to be totally honest. I totally missed the mark when it comes to haptics. But the idea I was going with was that I would rely on controllers to do the work for me. So when the player is moving around performing tasks, at times the controller would vibrate and the player would feel the vibrations. This was to simulate footsteps, tense moments, and jump scares. And as part of the experience, the player would be required to walk, crouch, turn, and perform other similar actions. And so I thought about by altering the environment, you can give the impression that the user is following or that something is pushing them. Now, obviously, I wasn't able to do that myself in Figma. So one thing I would do differently is I could add signals to signify when these moments are occurring within the prototype. So that's how I would go about doing that. So before I end the video, I would like to take time to recognize that the progress that was made there is nothing close to perfect, but there is merit in the project itself. It doesn't capitalize fully on the sensory aspects, and as a game alone either. One can be certain that with a great deal of careful dedication and a little more talent, it's possible to bring out the true form of the experience. I didn't do it alone. This was possible with the help of professors, online resources, research, brainstorming, and past knowledge. I can say that I met the challenge. There were things I missed for this project, and for me personally to decide what I would do differently depends on when I actually meet the challenge. So I think the most responsible conclusion I could make if I were going through with this with the stakeholders, the most responsible conclusion would be to keep on pushing and getting more research done. And so that is all I have for this final project. And thank you for listening.